Hey scrappers, it's Vanessa here with another scrapbook process video, and today I have layout number 7 from Christy's Beautiful Life's 30 Days of Sketches, and I am playing along with the sketch. I showed the sketch at the beginning of the video, and then I also have placed it up in the top left corner, and as you can see up in the corner, I did flip the sketch on its side. So that is how I am going to make my layout, is I have flipped it, and so rather than having those strips go vertically, I am going to go horizontal with my design. Now, the first thing that I'm doing here is I have a piece of blue cardstock that's going to act as the frame for my layout, and then I have a piece of white cardstock, and I just did some stamping with a stamp from Kaiser Craft that's sort of like the look of leather, and I took some Distress ink in Faded Jean, I think, or Sapphire, one of the two, and I just did some stamping, and then I took some of my Distress Oxide spray in Speckled Egg and did some splatters. And now I just have set that off to the side to dry. I did not prep the paper or anything like that, so it only took like a second or two for that ink that I splattered to dry, so really quick. And then while I set that off to the side, I am pulling out here all of the pattern papers that I chose to use for this layout. And I have 2 photos, which matches the sketch. And so I'm going to mat both of these photos, one on this scrap of blue and white, and then this other photo is going to be matted on this really bright green scrap of cardstock, which actually this green is not nearly as sort of fluorescent looking as it is in the video. It's actually more of a darker toned solid colored cardstock, but it looks very, very bright on camera. And so I'm just going to mat up my photos with both of those pieces of pattern paper, and then I have cut strips, as you can see, off to the side there, and those are what I'm going to use for all of the pattern paper strips that you see in the sketch. And so I'm debating here whether I'm going to use the stars or the green stripe that was on the opposite side. I do end up going with the stars because, of course, these are pictures of my son, and so the stars and little boys kind of just always seem to go together. And so I do end up flipping that over. And then here I'm just laying out the design how I want it to go. And one of the things I realized that when I cut my pattern papers, this one that had the sort of, I guess they're kind of like crosses or plus signs, I'm not really quite sure. I believe that pattern paper was from maybe Echo Park or Cartabella. And so I had cut it too short, and I originally had wanted the wider strip to use, and so I'm debating whether I can just piece it together here on the bottom of my white cardstock. In the end, I end up using the other one, and I like actually how the smaller strip ends up working out anyway, but you're gonna kind of see me play with the idea of using this other one and just piecing it together. However, I do, like I said, change that in the end. And then I realized that these top strips that I had pulled out, I had cut them a little too wide. So originally I had cut them I think at 2 inches, and then I end up going to about 1 inch. I think the star pattern paper is probably a 1.5 inch, but the rest end up being about 1 inch. And so here you see I am just laying out, I'm following the sketch really closely, at least the sketch once it's turned on its side. I'm following it very closely for the paper placement. And here is where I'm realizing that a lot of the stamping and little sort of detail that I added to the background was being covered up. I do end up needing to pull out and do a bit more stamping anyway, because it was basically being completely covered up, especially there at that top. And so I do end up adding a bit more stamping, which I think I do. Yeah, I do leave it on. I thought I had cut this out, but I did leave it in. And so I left my photos and papers and everything in place so that I could figure out exactly what I needed to do with my stamping. And there you see I bring it more up to the very top of that white cardstock so that then you see it peeking out over the top, and it kind of gives that same sort of grungy kind of feel that the sketch calls for. And so I'm just doing some second generation stamping just to not only clean off the stamp, but just to add, again, a bit more of that texture to the background. And so now that I have my background, how I want it to look, I am just going to start to build these layers and get them stuck down. I do end up doing most of the gluing of the pattern papers off camera, but I do stick down at least part of it so that you can kind of see me build my sort of embellishment clusters and sort of my pattern paper. And of course, because I never seem to line up anything perfectly the first time, I inevitably will always pull something up, and this pattern paper with the stars was giving me a little trouble, so I eventually get that straightened out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to build this bottom layer or this bottom cluster of embellishment. And so again, I'm following the sketch very closely. I have this little border sticker from I don't even know what collection it would have been. I just had the sticker sheet in my stash, and so I pulled this little, it's all about little boys, and so I just pulled that sticker strip, and so that's gonna kind of add sort of to cover the seam of that star paper and the cross paper. So I have that down, and then I've taken another sticker sheet. I want to say is from Bella Boulevard. Again, I don't know what the collection was, but I just pulled a whole bunch of stickers from that sticker sheet, and I am just going to build out what is going to take the place of those tags in the sketch. I'm going to build out this little embellishment cluster with mostly stickers that you see me going through here. I've stuck some other stickers up on my mat that will work in my other embellishment clusters, and then I have just some other stickers that I'm going to take here and build out this bottom cluster first. Now, because these are photos of my son, I thought I'm going to pull out some of these puffy sort of nature themed stickers, these little animal stickers and some mushrooms and some snails, and I have a little robot. So, you know, totally nothing that has to do with anything in this photo. My son is in the house and he's just looking really cute and wearing this hat. Like, he's got this cute little hat of Buzz Lightyear, and he's wearing it backwards, and he's just playing on the couch, and I took these photos. So that has nothing to do with any of the sticker themes, but I figure I don't really scrapbook theme, and so I'm just going to stick whatever I want in my embellishment clusters, and that's what we're going with. Now, I did stop the camera and grab my hexagon punch, and I use that to create these little banner edges for all those pattern papers that I'm stacking up there behind my photos. And once I have that done, I will start to build my embellishment clusters. Now, the only thing I do different is I do end up having two embellishment clusters. I have one on the top of the left photo and then another to the right of the right-sided photo. So each of my photos has its own sort of embellishment cluster. And again, I am going to use all of those stickers that you saw off to the side that I took off the sticker sheet, and on those other sticker sheets kind of just sitting there piled up. I just go through and grab all the stickers that I feel like work with the colors and boy themed, and so I'm just going to layer these all up and make them work on this page. they all have the same color tones, and so it works out perfectly. And then again, I'm taking those little woodland creatures and nature themed stickers, and they're all puffy and I absolutely love them. They're super adorable, and I am just going to add them into each of the clusters, and I think it turns out so cute. I absolutely adore this layout. I love how this entire layout came together. I love this sketch. It was a really fun one to play with. And I do really love how all of these different products, all from different manufacturers, all came together and created this really fun page. Now my title, I do kind of have part of it above one of the photos and then the rest here on the bottom of the two photos. And the title for this one is Love This Little. And then I'm going to take these little banner stickers from this Bella Boulevard sticker sheet, and I'm going to spell out the word dude that's on these little banner stickers, and that's going to complete my title. So the title is Love This Little Dude, and I do really love how this turned out. It is, like I said, one of my favorite layouts that I've done. Now to finish this up, as I do with most of my layouts, I will add either sequins or enamel dots. And so for this one, I had some of these already pre-stuck sequins from Jelly Bean Soup, and so I'm taking them in a navy and dotting those in each of my embellishment clusters. And then with that is pretty much going to wrap up this layout. I will have still photos at the end, and I will also have the links to everyone else who is playing along with Christy this month for the sketch for today. I will have their links below in the description box. So guys, here are the still photos. And with that, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.